about bringing understanding. You know, one of the things that I was looking at that word today, and I was saying, what understanding is. To me, understanding is to stand under. Understanding is to stand under and support. Understanding doesn't mean all the time that, okay, I understand you, doesn't mean that I agree with you. But understanding means you're going to still stand under that matter or way that we're going to go, and I'm going to support it. And that's what relationships is about. You know, it's about exchanging strength, exchanging ideas, becoming one, which is the hardest thing to do because both of you guys are intelligent. If you're single, whoever you're going to get in your life, I'm sure that person is going to be intelligent because they're going to choose you, right? Praise the Lord. Amen. So I'm going to have my wife share a few more words. I think we have some books also, right?
Yes. Yay, we did it. This is the one we were talking about. I'm really glad that you guys are here. Relationships are, I mean, come on. It's it. A relationship with one another, with your friends, with your work, your peers at work or your coworkers. But more than anything, your relationship with the one, right? Because the Bible says the two shall become one. And that is so important for God. Your relationship is important for God. Becoming one doesn't mean that one becomes more like the other person. Becoming one is exactly what he was talking about. It's understanding one another. It's being able to support one another. It doesn't always mean that you're going to agree, but you can agree to disagree and not, blow up your husband like, well, I really didn't like his idea, but I guess we'll do it. Or if it doesn't work out, I knew it. Next time we're going to do it the way I want us to do it. It's not understanding someone isn't under those conditions. And unfortunately, our humanness, I don't know if that's not a word, but we kind of lean that way a lot of the times. And I think a lot of the times is because we haven't really come to that understanding that I'm for him and he's for me. And our decision and our covenant and making that decision, it's a covenant decision. And that means that his enemies are going to be my enemies, and his God is going to be my God, and that's the way. That's what the marriage relationship is so important. But at the same time, it is two worlds becoming one, coming together in one, and respecting one another. Because Armando's different doesn't mean he's weird. Well, on the down low, he is a little weird, but no, it doesn't mean he's weird. He's just different. And it doesn't mean he's wrong, he's just different. He would do something differently than I would. And a lot of the times, it might even be better. And so that's what this video is about, talks about the differences. And the reason that I love that we're only going to do 30 minutes is because you're going to say, no, play it longer. And so the longer part will come at another time. So this is the first of many that we're going to do. Why? Because your relationship's important to us. It's important to God. And come on, how else would I have been able to take so many people out to dinner? This is great. You know what I mean? This is great. Now I can say I took you guys to dinner. Yay, me and Armando. So it's truly a pleasure, and I call that wisdom. So, so thanks again for coming out. We'll talk some more after the video. You guys feel free to take notes, and feel free to do this number to one another, like that's you, talking about you. Feel free to do that. Just no bruising, please. We do not need to do CPR or first aid. So don't hurt one another.
All right. Good. So we're going to get started. Let me get the lights, and feel free, all right? God bless.
Welcome to Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage. I'm so glad you're here. This is the marriage seminar for people who hate marriage seminars. Hoo-ah! All right? I get a kick out of watching the couples when they first come in on Friday nights. You know, the girls, they're all lit up, just, ooh, I got him here, guys going, oh man, I can't believe, I got here. But it's cool, guys. You can relax. You're going to love it. This is not one of those let's beat up on the men for not being women seminars. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. What is it with that anyway? Man, you ask a lot of women to describe their ideal man, and they'll describe another woman. What's up with that? So we're not going to do that. We are going to just go with this thing in a normal, healthy way. We're men. Men are men. We're not sick. We're not perverted. We're not twisted. We're not broken. We're men. All right? And God, and God made us the way we are for a reason. And I'm going to show you girls what that reason is. Okay? And I'm going to try and explain to you the world of men a little bit through this thing. We'll also discuss the women's side of things as well. But I really want you to understand this men thing. Women are much more complicated than men. Men are very simple. Simple. S-E-X. Simple. All right? So that's what I'm talking about, okay? So we're going to have fun. We should have a really, really great time. Now, tonight we're going to do a session called The Tale of Two Brains, hence the two brains. And we're going to be discussing how men and women think very differently from each other. Why is that important? Because men and women are very quick to make into heart problems what are essentially head problems. A woman acts a certain way. A guy feels she doesn't care about him. He says, well, there's something wrong with your heart. You don't care about me. No. It's the way she processes information. The same with a guy. A man thinks in a certain way, and a woman thinks there's something wrong with his heart. No, it's his head. Okay? So I'm going to try and explain to you what that's all about. Then tomorrow morning, we're going to do a session called Why Does He Do That? Why does she do that? Okay? See, it's one thing to understand men and women in general. It's another one to understand the one you got stuck with. Okay? So I'm going to show you how you can discover specifically what makes your spouse tick. And it's powerful information that will absolutely revolutionize your relationship. All right? Then we're going to do what I call the Yo Mama session. And it's called the number one key to incredible sex. And boys, if you miss that, there's just something wrong with you, okay? So you gotta check. And then we're gonna end with how to stay married and not kill anybody, okay? All very deep emotional stuff. Now, a lot of people say, well, what's your background? What's your deal? Well, my background is that I'm a minister. Now, if you're not much of a churchgoer, don't let that make you nervous. Some of my biggest fans are heathens. All right? And this isn't one of those things where we sneak you in and then beat you over the head with a Bible. All right? But I do have a Bible verse I need to show you, okay? Because I found a Bible verse that if you follow the advice from this one Bible verse, you will never, ever, ever have a problem in marriage. How many think that's worth seeing? All right, you follow the advice from this one verse, you'll never have a problem in marriage. It says it's good for a man not to marry. All right? So, well, now why would he say that? That's such a terrible thing to say. Because he goes on to explain, he who marries will have trouble in this life. People come up to me, Pastor Mark, something's wrong. I say, what is it? We got trouble in our marriage. I go, no, that's about right. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong. That's pretty normal. Now, you don't hear these verses read at weddings very often. Kind of downplay that. You don't see those on Hallmark cards. You don't see them on cakes with pretty calligraphy. He who marries will have trouble, but it's too late for you. You say, if that's the case, then why get married? Because marriage is absolutely wonderful. It's great. It's fantastic. But it's not that it's without trouble. All right? And I want to show one other verse to you. Now, you don't have the deep theological training that I have, so you might have a hard time understanding this verse. But I'll try and explain it to you. This is found in Proverbs. And it goes like this. Where no oxen are, the manger is clean. Let me explain that to you, okay? What does that mean? What it means, if you're going to have an ox, you're going to have ox poo, all right? Now, if you don't like poo, and most of us are not real big fans of poo, if you don't like poo, the temptation is get rid of the ox. Preach it, brother. No. I don't want you to get rid of the ox, all right? You know, so well, why would you keep the ox around? Because he goes to the second half of the verse, it says, because much increase comes by the strength of the ox. Well, now there's the catch-22. On the one hand, we all love the benefit of the ox, but nobody likes the poo. And what he's trying to tell us here is you cannot have one without the other. There is no such thing as a poo-free marriage. It just doesn't exist. Lest you shoot the ox, okay? But that leads to other problems. So this weekend is not about attaining a state of perfection in your life, all right? It's about getting a proper positive to poo ratio in your life. You see, because if all you get is poo, then you got one sick ox. Are you hearing me? All right? So, but there's no such thing as a poo-free marriage. For those of you who are having a hard time grasping this, I have a mathematical version of it. It goes, ox equals poo over positive. Some say positive over poo. But anyway, it's the ratio that we want to get going here, okay? Now, marriage is a wonderful institution. Statistically speaking, we know that married people are healthier than single people. They are actually happier than single people, assuming you're doing this right. Or you can be profoundly unhappy. They actually make more money than single people, and I'll mention a little bit later why that's true. Okay? They have better sex than single people. Now, you don't see that in our culture, you know, in all the movies and shows, you know, it's the single people all having really great sex, you know, and the married people are, you know, someone will say, well, how's your sex life? Are you kidding? I'm married. And it's not true. It's a bunch of baloney. Okay? Married people have great sex compared to single people. Single people don't even know what they're doing, for crying out loud. Okay? And statistically speaking, married people live longer than single people. This is particularly true for men. Statistically speaking, one of the most dangerous things a man can do in America today is remain single. It is the equivalent of smoking 2.5 packets of cigarettes a day. It's true. They found that if you take someone who has 2.5 packs of cigarettes a day and the health problems and the shortness of life and all the difficulties, and a single guy is pretty much the same. I guess the worst would be a single guy who smokes 2.5 packs of cigarettes a day. All right? But marriage is wonderful. It's great. It rocks. I love it, okay? If you do it right. Now, the problem here is so many people don't do it right. And it's not that they don't know, not that they don't want to do it, they don't know what to do. We live in a culture today that seems for somehow in the relationship area to be completely clueless. We seriously don't know what to do. Now, this weekend, what I want to do is show you specific things you can do that will absolutely energize and transform your marriage life. How many think that's worth hearing? Yeah, okay? So, now I want to talk to you about what I call the laws of relational physics. You see, the laws of physics affect everybody, whether you believe them or not, okay? If I step off this stage, I'm probably, in all likelihood, going to go down. If I start floating around, you might want to freak out and run. But why? Because the laws of physics affect, well, I don't believe that. Doesn't matter what I believe. I'm going down, right? Doesn't matter if I'm a born-again Christian. Doesn't matter if I'm a heathen. Man, I'm going, because it affects everybody. Well, just like that, there are laws of relational physics, and they affect everybody, whether you believe them or not. Now, this might come as a little bit of a shock to those of you who are church people, especially hearing from a minister. But the truth is, you don't have to be a Christian to have a great marriage. I know a lot of heathens that have wonderful marriages. I know a lot of born-again Christians who have horrible marriages. Why is that? They're breaking all the rules. And they assume somehow that the rules don't apply to them, but they do. Here's an example. If you're driving a car 80 miles an hour around a curve that says only 40, and you keep going 80, chances are you're going to get hurt, even if you're listening to a Christian radio station. Even if you have a statue of Jesus on the, he might be going, but why is that? Because the laws of physics still affect you, but for some miracle, you're going to get hurt. Same true with relational physics. And I want to explain that to you, and we'll take a look at that. Now, this weekend, I'm going to be speaking to you in basic stereotypes. In other words, women generally tend to be a certain way. Men generally tend to be a certain way. But they're not all that way. I get it. Okay? Some of the people that just have a cow. Well, I don't know. That's you for all men. I'm admitting it's not, all right? Just generally speaking, we don't have time to get into all the shades of gray. But generally speaking, men are a certain way, women are a certain way. If I start describing something that's not you, don't have a cow, just interpolate for your relationships. In Debbie's and I relationship, there are areas where we're completely opposite of a typical man and a woman. I remember when I was first studying this stuff, I thought, oh man, I'm a woman. So just interpolate. I will say this, that if you tend to be one way in a certain relationship, your wife generally will be the other way. I don't think I've run across a couple yet. I'm sure they're out there that act the exact same way. So if you break the rules, chances are your spouse is breaking them right with you, and you just flip on this deal, okay? For example, a typical stereotype. Men are more interested in sex than their wives. Why would you say that? Because generally it's true. But it's not always true. There are a lot of relationships where the wife is much more interested in sex than her husband. If you're here tonight and your wife is much more interested in sex than you are, I think I speak for all the men here when I say that we hate you. Please don't tell us who you are. We will hurt you, all right? So just go with the flow. It'll be cool. We'll have a great time discussing this thing about marriage. Now, I believe marriage is a life-giving institution. We live in a culture today that believes marriage is a life-sucking institution. It will suck the life out of you. All right? And that's why we say, make sure you're old enough. Make sure you have enough money. Make sure you have enough education. Make sure you've been dating for 37 years first. Make sure that, get all this stuff. Why? You got to get everything together and ready so that when you say I do, you can withstand the, But it's not that way. It'll give you life if you'll do it right. If you do this right, marriage can be the closest thing to heaven on earth. If you do it wrong, well, you fill in the blanks. Okay? So now, we're going to start discussing men's brains, women's brains, and how they're very different from each other. Now, I want to start with men's brains. All right? Now, men's brains are very unique. Men's brains are made up of little boxes. And we have a box for everything. We've got a box for the car. We've got a box for the money. We've got a box for the job. We've got a box for you. We've got a box for the kids. We've got a box for your mother somewhere in the basement. We got boxes everywhere. And the rule is the boxes don't touch. When a man discusses a particular subject, we go to that particular box, we pull that box out, we open the box, we discuss only what is in that box. All right? And then we close the box and put it away, being very, very careful not to touch any other boxes. Sorry, my Catholic upbringing got in there for a minute, but I'm not a Catholic, but I went to Catholic school when I was little. I had a nun who taught on hell like she was born and raised there. I mean, I'll never forget it, but it did me good, actually. It was a good thing. Now, women's brains are very, very different from men's brains. Women's brains are made up of a big ball of wire. And everything is connected to everything. The money's connected to the car, and the car's connected to your job, and your kids are connected to your mother, and everything's connected to everything. It's like... It's like the internet superhighway. Okay? And it's all driven by energy that we call emotion. It's one of the reasons why women tend to remember everything. Because if you take an event and you connect it to an emotion, it burns in your memory and you can remember it forever. The same thing happens for men. It just doesn't happen very often because, quite frankly, we don't care. Women tend to care about everything. And she just loves it. Okay? Now, men, we have a box in our brain that most women are not aware of. This particular box has nothing in it. It's true. It's true. In fact, we call it the nothing box. And of all the boxes a man has in his brain, the nothing box is our favorite box. If a man has a chance, he'll go to his nothing box every time. That's why a man can do something seemingly completely brain dead for hours on end. You know, like fishing. love it. That's why a guy can sit in front of a TV and go. Glows. Of course, this drives our wives nuts because they'll come up and say, "Stop that! You can't possibly be watching anything!" I'm not. Go away. Now, they've actually measured this. The University of Pennsylvania a couple of years ago did a study and discovered that men have the ability to think about absolutely nothing and still breathe. You know, they connected all the wires and stuff like that and watched the brain activity, then all of a sudden, I think he's dead. Huh? You know, women can't do it. They can't do it. Their minds never stop. And they don't understand the nothing box. And it drives them crazy. Because nothing drives a woman more crazy or makes her feel more irritated than to witness a man doing nothing. And one of the biggest revelations I get out of women is this whole nothing box issue. They just, everything's starting to make sense. And I've had women say, "Oh, it's nothing. Well, can I go in his nothing box with him?" No! Why not? Because then it's something. Besides, you'll walk in there and go, You know, this place could really use some pictures. Right, nice little table over here, some flowers. Is it? No! Nothing! Get out! We don't want nothing. Now, this handles the way men and women handle stress. Okay? When a man is stressed out, all he wants to do is run to his nothing box. This is how we unwind. The last thing we want to do when we're stressed out is talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. We just want to. Of course, it just drives her nuts, you know. A woman will see a man in that vegetative state and she'll come up and go, "What you thinking about?" Nothing. We gotta be thinking about something. No, I was thinking about nothing. In fact, I was on a roll till you showed up. Go away, all right? Because that's how he handles stress. He just. Now, when a woman is stressed out, she has to talk about it. If she doesn't talk about it, her brain will literally explode. So she'll start just, I don't know, might have something to do with this. Not gonna have that. You know, I never thought about this. My brother over here said to me, and I know men who run from their wives when they do this. They do. I say, well, why do you run from her? He says, because I don't know what to tell her. I said, dear God, man, who told you to tell her anything? She wants you to tell her anything. See, a lot of guys, they feel obligated when you start explaining all your stress, they feel obligated to fix you, right? Because that's what a man does. A man only tells his troubles to another man in hopes that that man will help fix it, okay? But she's not a man. And you try and fix her, she gonna kill you, all right? She doesn't want your advice. She doesn't want your help. She wants you to shut up and listen. And a couple of ladies, that's right, you tell him. Tell him to shut up. They like that. Now, I had one guy tell me, he said, man, if she just tell me how she feels. I said, she doesn't know yet. He said, what do you mean? So that's how she figures out how she feels, by connecting this wire to that wire, this wire, and so. Now, because they love each other, they offer to each other their answer, their solution. A man senses his wife is stressed out. He loves the girl. He offers to the girl his best and finest solution. Or just quit talking about it. Just quit thinking about it. Yeah. And that's when she starts reaching for the knives and stuff. She's gonna stab you if you keep it up, okay? Now, a woman, she senses her husband's all stressed out. She loves him. Therefore, she offers to him her best and finest solution. Talk to me. Why won't you talk to me? Go away. He doesn't want to talk to you. Leave him alone. He will not die. He's not a woman. All right? I know you've got to talk it through or you're going to be twisted inside. He's not like that. Leave the boy alone. You tell he's stressed out, just let him go to his nothing box. Just stay away. Stay away. Okay? And it's hard for us to understand that because we think so differently from each other. Now, not only does this affect the way that we respond in stress and stuff, the way our brains are wired also affects the way that we use words. Okay? Men tend to use less words than women. That's because the women have all the wires they're trying to connect, and they've got to explain each and every connection. Now, they say that if a man needs to speak 10,000 words in a day, a woman needs to speak 20,000. My wife says, that's because we got to repeat everything we say.
All right, guys. You guys
To which I
enjoying that?
responded, huh?
Good. Well, we're going to pause it. Sorry about that. Okay, put your hands together if you're liking that, all right? We're not going to keep you around a long time. If you want to go have dinner after this, you still can. Dessert or whatever, you still can go ahead and do that. All right, so you guys can still go have some coffee and some dessert. That will be great. And you guys enjoy that? Okay, great, great. And again, it means a lot to us that you guys are here on a Friday because it means that you care about your marriage, but besides your marriage, your kids, because at the end of the day, it's who we live for. We live for family, and everything that we do is to fortify what we have. We have it, and I think that if we can just narrow it down to a nutshell here, it's about understanding each other's way that God has created us. We're different. And different doesn't mean that we're wrong. It's just that we're different. So therefore, if we can understand that, if I can understand that God wired her that way, then I can, excuse me, then I can, it's more power to me so that I can know how to handle a situation. If I don't understand how God wired her, then I'm going to walk right into stuff, like he was saying. I mean, I think it was very self-explanatory in what he said. Let me just share a couple of thoughts that I got, and I'll pass it out to my wife, and we're going to have some books that we're going to be giving out, and then we're just going to let you go in a minute, right? This is what I got. I got this, that a relationship does not end because there is no more love. There's people that have separated, divorced, yet they still fight to this day. And the fact that they still die is because they still care about the stuff. So therefore, the relationship does not end because there is no more love, but really it ends because they didn't understand each other. They failed to try to understand each other. And again, understanding doesn't mean that you agree with that thing. It just means you're going to understand. You're going to stand under whatever the situation is. Okay, let's do that. I'll understand that. I'll understand you. We'll carry it out. We'll walk it out. We'll make it work. And when you do that one to another, then you guys become one. Do you understand that? So that's what I got out of it. And then here's what God says about that. It says, wisdom is the principal thing. Above all is wisdom, and with all you're getting, God says, get understanding. So just because you're wise and smart doesn't mean that we understand something. Just because we know an item, if I know that camera, doesn't mean I know how it functions, where does it break down, or same thing. Just because you know what a girl is doesn't mean you understand her. You need to know more about it. I pray that next month when we do it again, you guys would like to do it again? All right, we can do it again. And invite somebody. I think it will help. Again, this is not a miracle pill that's going to change everything, but it's just maintenance. And because that's what life is about. It's about maintenance. You have to maintenance your checkbook. You have to maintenance your health. You have to maintenance your marriage. You have to maintenance everything. Whatever you don't maintenance dies, and it looks ugly. Even your front yard, you have to maintenance your front yard, right? And then here's the last thing. Understanding does not mean you're going to agree, but it will put you in a place of knowing how to handle the matter or the situation. Understanding is to stand under. Understanding will bring you into the table of negotiation. If you can understand something, says, you know what, I don't understand you, but let's go with it. That means that you can negotiate whatever situation. Because sometimes, as you know, it's just small stuff. But if you can take home today that God has created us different, that your man or whoever, if you're single, whoever you're gonna meet, they are different. They are not you. And we solve problems different. We handle problems different. We handle stress different. There's nothing wrong with us, and there's nothing wrong with you, right? Oh, good. All right, so here's my wife.
All right, so I like feedback. You guys that's the differences, right? I need some feedback from you guys. Was that hilarious or what? Oh my God, he's just putting out our mail, right? So how many of you could relate to men? I want to hear from the men. How many of you men can relate to, I have a nothing box? Oh my gosh, all you guys have a nothing box. Because you know what? I mean, I don't do it anymore because I realized that I don't even want to be in the nothing box. Like, who cares? But I'd be that, like, talk to me. I would be that person because it's like, something's got to be wrong. Right, ladies? The nothing box makes us nervous. Right? It makes us think like, what's he thinking? Why, and now here's the beauty for us girls. He's not thinking about nothing. There ain't nothing going on up there. He don't even know. Right? Because we're thinking like, did he find out? Right? It's like that. Why is he so quiet? Oh my God. No, he saw it. He had to have seen it. Right? I mean, he heard. He's thinking how he's going to kill me. And now we know, no, they're clueless. There's nothing in there. because they're in their nothing box, not because they're dumb. They just know how, and that's another thing that I learned from this is I always say the saying, men are waffles and women are spaghetti. Men, you know how a waffle has its compartments, and you could put syrup in every other box if you want to. You don't you could skip a square or whatever, but you can't straighten out noodles. It's very difficult, right? And that's what women are. So men, did you also figure out that we're a little crazy? We're kind of crazy, but not crazy like Charles Manson crazy. We're crazy like we're awesome crazy, like a roller coaster crazy. You know, like that feeling, like it's going. She's like, you guys are like, okay, she's coming down now. She's coming down now. It's coming down. It's coming down, and we just keep going higher, 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 because we never want to let you know when it's coming down. Your stomach gets all crazy, right? Well, I hope that you were able to appreciate your differences, and I hope that you were able to say, that's what that is then. I'm thinking, because you know what, girls, what we do is we take a lot of things personal. Because remember, what did he say that we connect with? Emotions. And what do they connect with? Well, when they're outside of the nothing box, what do they connect with? Their brain was going, that's why, like, they never want to hear your whole story. Like, you're like, and then, and they're like, they probably visit the nothing box, and then they just, like, probably tell something else in their brain to, like, okay, she's finishing up. It sounds like she's finishing up. Let's get back in here. Get back in the game. And so now we know, girls, that they're bottom line kind of guys. But guys, here's the other thing. You know that for us, it's important for you to hear the whole story. It's important for us. Obviously, you could care less. But for us, it's important. Did you catch the part where he said that the reason we have a good memory is because we connect we connect a situation or an incident or whatever took place, we connect it with it emotionally. That's why, like, maybe even a song like, oh, I remember that song. Because right, the guys are like, take the mic away from her now, Pastor. Take the mic away. Now. But that's why I never really knew that, and it's true. I do have a good memory, or I could smell something, and I'm like, I remember that. You know, it's just crazy. And guys, that makes us kind of special. Don't you think we're kind of cute for that? I mean, come on, really, like, you know, we're cute. You gotta love us. We're so vulnerable. We're like little teddy bears. Can't be mean to a teddy bear. Right? Because we'll remember that.
One of the things that me knowing that, how have I used that for my good, for our benefit of our home? So whenever we have to do, like, make some great decision, big decisions, buying a house, buying a car, things that are big, I need her on my team because you know when they explain everything to you, guess what? There's some things that just go by me. And there's things, and those things that go by me, they didn't go by her. So it's hard for that salesman to just get one through us. Do you understand that? And that's the way that I have used it for my advantage. Whenever there's a serious matter, a matter where there's big money involved, or, you know, a big life and death situation, I really need her on my team. Because I need everything to touch. Okay, you know, let's make sure that we ain't gonna get screwed here. We're not gonna get burned. Do you understand that? So there's ways that you can use that to your advantage. Where there's also some situations where my wife doesn't want to get emotional about it, so she'll let me know if she's overreacting. So then we can carry that a little bit different than you guys can carry that. Do you understand that? You know, the dealing with the kids, dealing with So if we can learn how to use both of the strengths that we have, because those are strengths that we have, or qualities, I think that we can make a better team for whatever comes against us, for heading life, doing life, because life, we all have to do life. You understand that? So it's about doing it as a team. Okay, so that's the way I have used it for my advantage. So go on.
Okay, so I want to hear from you. Like I did say that earlier, and I really meant it when I said it. I just had a lot to say because it was really good. So I would like to know who had, first of all, who knows what an aha moment is? You know, it's like, that's why. Those are aha moments. Did anybody have an aha moment during the video, during the 30, and it was only 30 minutes. So we just gave you guys a little. You guys had an aha moment? Okay, everybody who raised their hand, stand up. Because we want to know your aha moment. Come on now.
With me, and it's so true, guys do shut down. Me, I'm the type of person that wants to talk about it, like, tell me what, and no, it doesn't work.
Okay.
What would you be able to apply moving forward knowing that?
Leave that person alone.
Okay.
Yeah, just wait until they're ready to talk about it. And not be pushy, like, talk to me, what's wrong? Because you're not going to get nothing out of it.
Right. All right. Juan, you had an aha moment? Yeah. What was it?
Everything is connected together. So that's why when you're talking about one thing and the person you're with just goes off on a tangent and starts talking about something totally different. So, yes.
So that helped you as a man, like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you
Kinda
can.
like, it's like, why do women want to talk when you're in the bathroom? It's like men focus on the bathroom. Women, they just come on in here and talk to me. It's like, why? So
Right.
that
Well,
was the aha.
praise God. How are you, Fonz? What helped?
My moment was when you guys remember everything, and I'm like, man, she remembered that. I was like, and that's just like, I was like, whoa.
Okay, there you go. So, and you can use that for your advantage.
It was just like what Brother Juan said, that everything's connected for us, and that they're in their empty box or whatever, their alone box, everything is separate. So, yeah.
Oh, my aha moment was my wife when she's everywhere, you know what I mean? That wire thing. Like, I was like, now I understood that, you know what I mean? Because she's always doing things. She just, as soon as I tell her, like, hey, just chill, you know what I mean? Just come chill, but she just all wired up. So that was my aha moment.
My aha moment was the nothing box and the fishing. I don't understand this. You go out there and fish, but what's going on? Nothing.
Okay, good. And it's good to have an aha moment because that means that you got set free. Because before you were thinking we connect it, especially women, because remember, we're dealing with the emotions. Guys, you guys probably forgot about it already. We're still like, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe he actually did that. And then sometimes we'll even go and say, I can't believe I'm still mad about that day. And you're like, what? Oh, now you're gonna act dumb. Now you don't remember. Yeah. Like, remember that day, and I said this, and you said that, and you're like, I don't remember that. And so we take it so personal. We take everything so personal because that's how we're connected. And so, guys, just know that we're not crazy. We are emotional, and work with us. And as we'll work with you, because really it's like two opposites that are trying to, remember I said in the beginning, it's two worlds coming together. And we have to understand our strengths, and we have to, because see, in both of those characteristics, there's strength. but sometimes they can also become a weakness, right? So you can, as Armando mentioned before, I know I'm emotional. I know I take things personal. So I'll have to come and say, okay, this is what happened. What do you think? And a lot of the times, I don't agree with what he said, because it's like, nah, he doesn't get it. Oh, my God. He doesn't even remember half the story. You know? But we have to, I have to respect the way he functions and understand that he's on my team and understand that he's not, because a lot of the time, girls, well, what I get a lot of the time is that I need to calm down. No one likes to be told to calm down. I've never seen it work where you tell someone calm down and they calm down. I've never seen it work. You try something else. Scream with me. Maybe that'll scare me and say, what the heck's happening? And then I'll calm down. But do not tell someone who's upset to calm down. It is suicide, men. Don't do it. No, but I really, that kind of, his counsel, well, I'll receive it, and I take it, I receive it, and because, again, number one rule is you got to know that you're for one another. You're wearing the same T-shirt. You're wearing the same jersey. And be convinced of that. And then as you're convinced of that, then you'll understand that your differences, it's like, oh, cool. Now I'm twice as strong. Now we're twice as good. And you read, how many of you were surprised about the men having a longer life who are married, that they have longer life? Did you notice that women didn't have longer life? Did anybody notice that? Nobody caught that? No? Okay, that was my aha moment, huh? It's because we take care of them, right? Because we're so emotional. So, okay, that's my spiel. I don't know how I'm going to give out the stuff.
Let me see how do we do this? Yes, there you go. Here.
So read a book together, and this is called The 5 Languages of Love. And it's the secrets to love that lasts. And I'm going to give it to, the Lord just put it in my heart, I'm going to give it to Desiree and her man. But let me tell you what y'all be learning. It says, some of the topic, because how many of you know that there's different ways to, you know how there's different languages in the world? Well, in love language, there's different ways to love. Maybe for Armando, me giving him gifts, he likes it, he is appreciative of it. But there's nothing like when I come and I say, you know what, you did such a great job. That was really, really nice of you, what you did. It turned out really well. That's a language of love. Giving something is another language. And so let me tell you what the languages are. There's language number 1 is words of affirmation, which is that, wow, you look really handsome today. You look great. I'm so lucky. You're my man. Those are words of affirmation. Quality time. See this right here, right now, this is quality time. And I really encourage everyone, we really didn't have dessert on purpose because we were hoping that you would go out and continue tonight. It's 8:15. Come on, guys. We didn't get the party started till 10 o'clock when we were younger, so stop. Okay? It's not, please don't go home. Sad. Don't go home. Go out and have some dessert, and if you have your kids, go ahead and take them with you. I don't care, but don't turn around and just go home. Boring. Okay? And so, quality time. Receiving gifts. Who likes to, girls, I know we like to receive gifts, right? I do. Okay, if some of y'all don't, that's all right. Maybe you like them words of affirmation. That's your deal. That, whatever floats your boat. Acts of service. I love when I get out of the shower and my bed is made. Oh, my God. It's like, oh, honey, you made the bed. Thank you. And then my coffee's right there, so right where I put my makeup on. And so, oh, thank you, honey. Every morning I have my coffee. I wish the bed were made a little bit more often, but we're working on that. But those are acts of service. You know how they open the door for you? I mean, sometimes it's like, it takes too long. I'll open my own door. But some people really, I mean, I know that of ladies who stand outside the door. They won't get in the car unless their man opens the door. That's important to them. And then there's the physical touch, and I think we all like that. So we want to hear the language you're gonna speak, okay? And read that together. And it's just 1 or 2 pages. You read one page and have him read another page. You don't have to make it a chore, because then if it becomes a chore, of course you're not going to do it. Of course not. Yeah. Okay, so who wants to have a new husband by next Friday? No, you got to get you a man first, girl, before you change him. Here you go. Here you go. Not that there's anything wrong with you, dude. Not that there's anything wrong with them at all. There's nothing wrong with you now. Yeah, the same one. Of course, yes. Yeah. No, we don't want another one. Look, I've got 26 years. All my youth. I didn't have these wrinkles. I didn't have the age spots. He's getting the whole thing now. He's stuck. He is stuck. I've got too many years invested in this man for me to turn around and really want a different husband. So this just says a new husband, not a different husband, just a new husband. So I'll give you, Becky, that one. And then I'm going to give this one to my friend. And this, the love dare. Berta, come here, I dare you. I double dog dare you. This is called the love dare. So there's also a video on that too. But I mean, it's not in there, but you can buy that one later. But God bless, you guys are going on an airplane trip, so you guys have something to read on the airplane. So I hope you guys are blessed. I hope you really, really, really do read that information. It's good stuff, guys. And share it. And maybe the next time we have this, you can actually share with us what you learned from your book. All right? And there's going to be more books. There's going to be more prizes. And there's going to be more things. And there's going to be more dinners. You guys want to have dinner with us again in the next month? All right. Okay, you said it. So we'll do that again.
And then you can bring a friend also. Man, remember what he said? One of the things that stuck out to me was what he says, that you don't have to be a Christian to have an awesome marriage or an awesome relationship. You just have to follow the rules. There's some rules that we have to follow and respect them, and it'll be okay. It'll be okay, all right? So bring whatever friends you have, because that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that your kids, that another generation has a great unit, a great unit, a parent net, something that's going to hold them always. So, you have to invest in you. You have to invest in you. Those that are single, you also come, because this is just going to prepare you for whenever you get that man or that girl, Brother Juan, and man, now you know how to flow with that internet there. All right?
Meet her in the bathroom and have a wonderful conversation.
No, it can't. Anyway, well, we're going to dismiss you. Again, go out. It's 8:20. Go out, have a coffee, have pastry. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for joining us and for spending the time with us, all right? Have a good night.